Terry owned a pharmacy. He bought it in 1959 and we married in 61. I had a pharmacy, fought like cats and dogs for the first 12 months because we're both in the one spot, and sort of realised that I was probably better out in the front shop and he was probably better in the dispensary. In about 12 months, 1963, the opportunity came to buy another pharmacy, and my joke is always that we fought like cats and dogs. So I went down and opened up in competition, but it became the second pharmacy. And we called that, instead of Terry and Rhonda White, I said to him at the time, that's not a very good marketing decision, let's call it Terry White Chemists. It will sound very important having two pharmacies. So that's how we came to have two pharmacies. However, we both really wandered away from pharmacy. After about 10 years and 5 children, I thought I'd take a break, but didn't find staying at home very exciting. I went back to uni and did just a general arts degree, but then did the postgraduate psychology and registered as a psychologist and focused on the organisational development, probably because of the business background. Everybody went back. I mean, the nuns were all back there from the school I used to go to. Everybody was back there doing degrees, part-time. Many of us were working, and as well, Terry worked almost full-time and did his full arts degree with a major in government. In that 10 years, we had grown to 5 pharmacies between the two of us. We had sold up and kept 2 of them. In the mid-80s, and early 80s, 82, 83, there was a concept that we were approached to take on of a pharmacy which was far before its time, but not unlike a Terry White Chemist now, called Shoppers Supermart. It was based on a Canadian concept, Shoppers Drug Mart. And the whole thing was, they said, you know, you two guys don't have to do anything, you know, we just put pharmacists in there and you can be the owners, and we just need, you know, a couple of people to own these pharmacies. Anyway, you can't do that in business. We learned that very much. Nobody does it for you. And after a very short time, our lovely partners in the other 2 pharmacies, which were putting our children through school, and because you weren't making much money, Terry by that time had been elected to government and was minister in the state parliament, so he wasn't involved, and I was quite enjoying my little sort of career, but it was not a very profitable career. Anyway, the long and short of it was, this concept didn't work. I had to go back into pharmacy. So I went back reluctantly into something that I now love. Everybody should remember that. I went back purely because we were going to go broke fast. And then we gradually were able to get a couple of other pharmacies over the late 80s. So that the building blocks for the brand were ready. Terry came back into the good people of Redcliffe had decided he'd had long enough. He'd been there 10 years. So late 89 he lost that election, and so he came back into the business. And at the time I can remember sort of frivolously saying to him, well, I don't know what you're going to do. I didn't want to do this, but you know, I'm the CEO and I'm not moving over. Anyway, he very happily, which is typically Terry, said, oh well, I'm the chairman. I'll be the chairman. I think you've got to decide what you want to do in life, and really, I guess, people say, what are your hobbies? Well, I have to say, you know, sort of my life and my hobbies are probably one, and I'm lucky that I love what I do, but also my family are my life and my hobbies. So the weekend is the family, and that's a decision I made. I've never had time to go off and do other things other than things that relate to the businesses, like presenting somewhere at a conference or something like that. I travel a great deal because I have to stay cutting edge with what we do in the businesses, and we are. I mean, Australians have a huge inferiority complex in terms of, I can stand up at a national conference and say, you know, I've been around the world and we are cutting edge, and you can see that and think, oh yeah. They really don't believe it. And Australia is cutting edge when it comes to healthcare. We have one of the best healthcare industries in the world, probably the best, and I'm not talking just pharmacy. So we're very lucky in this country.